Alright, yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and this is part of the Race to Sceptile, and I cannot express to you guys how excited I am to post-commentate these games and show off these games to you guys. These were played a long time ago at the time of recording. It's currently October 3rd. These are probably recorded like a month ago, maybe something really long ago. So I haven't seen them in a long time, but I have some really cool titles for these, and I remember I'll never forget this first game. This first game is an absolute banger, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess get us into it, but I want to preface this is a Castform 1v6 sweep. Something I have never seen before in all of my PokeMMO play. Something I was able to achieve in randoms due to a couple misplays from my opponent, as well as good positioning by me and everything, if I remember correctly. But let's go ahead and jump into it. So we see Pinsir facing down Shuckle. I do have a super effective Stone Edge, which is pretty nice. It's non-stab Stone Edge, which is a big deal here. And obviously I could miss. I know he's probably going to set up Stealth Rocks or go for a Toxic here. So I think I'm figuring out if I want to go ahead and try to bring in my Yanmega now, because if he sets up Stealth Rocks here, my Yanmega is pretty much never going to be able to come in for the rest of the game. So I just go ahead and go for the Stone Edge, 36%, no crit. But then instead of Toxic or Stealth Rocks, I see him go for an Iron Defense here, which now this pretty much puts me in the perfect position to go ahead and bring in Yanmega. So I'll probably set up Stealth Rocks here, or I could bring in Perugly. Something that special attacks here is probably what I want to do. I don't want to keep relying on my physical attacks now that I know he's setting up Iron Defense, so I do bring in Yanmega, bring in the special attacker. Let's see what I go for. I don't know if I just end up going for Air Slash here for... I mean, Air Slash or Bug Buzz. The issue is, so Air Slash has that chance to flinch, which is super relevant, 30% chance, but Bug Buzz is just going to do so much more damage. There's a huge damage difference when it comes from, like, Air Slash is 75% with stab, or 75 base power, excuse me, with stab, and then Bug Buzz is 90 with stab, which doesn't seem like the biggest difference on paper. It's what, 15 base power, but when you apply stab and everything, it ends up being a bigger difference than you would actually initially believe. So I think going for Bug Buzz here is super fair. I don't know which is the better play. It's honestly a really tough decision. I don't know if one is better than the other, going for Air Slash or Bug Buzz. What's his percentage? Here's at 47%. I think I need to keep Bug Buzz in here. Going for the 10% debuff on that special defense is also super huge. Would be super important here. I wonder if it's arguable that I should go for Air Slash here. The issue is, after the leftover procs, I don't think I can kill him with the Air Slashes and everything. Something I should have thought about a little more here. Now he's got the Toxic off on my Yanmega. Something I should have thought about a bit more is I should be a lot more worried about rest than I am. I'm putting in a lot of resources to just slowly chip down the Shuckle. I think here's where I realized that. So I end up going over to Castform because I want to go ahead and just try to actually set up and start doing something where I can actually like do a ton of damage. I probably could have just gone Perugly, honestly, earlier in this game than I did. I think I waited way too long. I probably could have just gone Perugly here, set up nasty plots, and really try to get some damage off. But I don't want to get it Toxic. I don't want to get everything Toxic. But he goes for the rest. He recovers. Which honestly puts me in a really good position to go ahead and set up Rain. He stays in. He's not too afraid of Castform, which honestly, you know, who would be? Understandably so. But now I can throw off, I think, Weather Ball here. So it's interesting because Weather Ball is actually water type here. It's actually not very effective. This is something that PokeMMO doesn't adjust, so it's actually super effective there. So you have to be careful about that. When weathers are up, you have to think about your Weather Ball. It doesn't auto adjust. How it says it's not very effective there, but it's actually water type, not normal type, and it's super effective. He goes into Tangrowth, which then takes 34%. Tangrowth is a physical defense wall, not a special defense wall. So even though it's not very effective against it, takes a huge chunk of damage, and now I can follow up with Hurricane, which I believe does go ahead and take out the Tangrowth. So the Shuckle is chipped pretty low, the Tangrowth is now defeated, and I'm sitting on a Castform just tearing into his team, just doing absolute work with this Castform. We have one Pokemon defeated. Let's see what else we can take care of. Come on, bring in your next big threat. Sableye comes in. Now, this is a Pokemon that I know that I probably can't one-shot, although I want to do as much damage as possible, maybe like 80% or so with Weather Ball, and just kidding. I end up critting, and I promise you that crit probably mattered. Sableye is an extremely tanky Pokemon. I feel for my opponent there. The stars really aligned to allow Castform to put in the absolute, the work, the show, the absolute, the punching fest that it did. So here, I'm free to set up Rain Dance, because he might go for Sucker Punch here. There's a good chance, and there you go. There you see it. There's a really good chance he goes for Sucker Punch. That's such a misplay by him. You shouldn't go for that there. You don't you know that weather is down or rain is down. I think he just misclicked too quick. Then he goes for Fire Blast, and now I'm a water type, so he just wasn't thinking about Castform and its ability. I then go for Weather Ball. I do 62%. He then switches over to Ursaring. I do 69% of that. So I'm just destroying his team. I mean, I'm just putting on a clinic, absolute clinic with Castform here. Opponent not respecting the type changes, fire blasting into the now water type, etc., etc. Exploud comes in, does a bit of damage, and here, that is super important. I dodged the circle throw, which you guys just saw. Circle throw would have done a disgusting amount of damage to me. Here, I actually have to think about, do I just switch out here? Do I keep trying to get the sweep with Castform? I should have switched here, but then he goes for Substitute. Does 25%, which is, important in this position, I guess, to some extent. That sub is going to hurt me a little bit, but we Weather Ball to break the sub, and then guess what happens? He misses another circle throw, which, if I'm not mistaken, is 90% accurate. So he missed two 90% accuracy moves in a row, got critted at an important time. My opponent definitely misplayed a ton, but this game was, he also just got crit and RNG'd to oblivion. So it's tough. There we go. 5 Pokemon have now been taken out by Castform, and here comes the 6th, my favorite Pokemon of all time, Shuckle, to get absolutely obliterated. Rest in peace, my good friend. The 1v6 Castform sweep is completed. I just thought this was so cool. It happens at some point, I guess. I thought it was so cool. I thought it was so interesting. You don't see that too often. You don't see a literal 1v6 Castform sweep. That is one Castform taking down 6 Pokemon, just single-handedly. Incredible. Let's go ahead and jump over onto game 2. Now, this one I titled Great Game, and it shows the importance, I believe, of endgame paralyzation and endgame speed tiers. So this will be an interesting one. I don't remember it too well, but let's go ahead and see what happens. So we are Swalot lead into Steelix. This is really bad for me because I'm not Earthquake Swalot, and he is most likely Earthquake Steelix. I probably just want to switch out immediately, but I don't know what I do here. I don't have a flying type to switch into, though, which is really shitty. I think I probably honestly just switch to Artillery here, which might be exactly what I do. I think Artillery is the switch. Yep, it's exactly what I do. It's my best switch here. I really don't have the best answer to this thing. He goes for a Curse, which is actually best case scenario for me since I don't have a good answer to this thing. Now I can go ahead and just surf this thing or get off some huge damage. Let's see what I go for. Do I just go for the surf? Probably, right? Because it's just stab. It's super safe. Even if he switches to something he's expecting a water type move. He stays in though. Sturdy. I do 99.9%. He EQs me back doing 52%. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy with this trade because my team just has an incredibly difficult time dealing with Steelix, especially Curse Steelix. My team is almost all physical attackers, and the attackers that aren't physical, I think Sir Viper in this is a special attacker. It's weak to EQ. It's heavily weak to EQ. So yeah, getting enough damage off here as possible. And I go ahead and go for the Ice Beam here, expecting, it'll do enough damage to take out the Steelix, but if he switches, I could have a typing advantage. And there we go. We have a huge typing advantage. I also could have arguably gone for Flamethrower there. That would have been a really nice play, but he brings in the Parasect. It gets frozen. The freeze wouldn't have mattered if you noticed. The crit obviously didn't matter either. The freeze would have mattered because he switched it in. I would have been able to finish it off anyway. So now he brings in Unknown here, trying to clean up my Artillery, which I think I just end up letting this thing go down. I'm not sure. I might end up trying to switch over to I might try to keep it alive. I might keep it alive here. I think I go to, yeah, no, actually this is a good play. No reason to let Artillery die yet. Let's go ahead and head over to Illumise, assuming Hidden Power Psychic. Now, unfortunately, Hidden Power Psychic did do a lot more damage there than I expected. My team is really slow here. U-Turn does really good damage, though, honestly, 45%. So I'm assuming he's Hidden Power Psychic, I think, still to this point. I know that Bug is super effective versus Psychic. I always think that Bug is resistant of Psychic, but I don't believe it actually is. I always mess up my typings, even been playing this game for this long. So really tough switch here. I think I just sack Artillery here, honestly. Weird plays by me. Honestly, not the best. Not super great plays. I'm going to be totally honest. But you know what? That's how it goes. I probably should have gone for Roost T-Wave shenanigans, maybe against this Unknown. The issue is I probably could have T-Waved and then gone for Roost after and been faster and maybe hope for some sort of thing. But yeah, I could have gone that, but I wanted to play a little more aggressive, I guess. Yeah, that probably would have been a better play. It's a little bit of a misplay here. Didn't need to let my Artillery go down. Could have played it a little slower with Illumise and done some different shenanigans, but could have at least T-Waved it, right? So Carnivine comes in. Gonna go ahead and finish this thing off with Leech Life is the plan. Carnivine should be able to answer anything he brings in. Leech Life, even if he's obviously faster than me. So the issue was I didn't have anything faster than this unknown here, which was a really big deal. He brings in the Umbreon, which thankfully still tanks a ton from Leech Life being super effective, puts him down to 62% damage. Huge, huge, huge. I'm super safe here to just Leech Life again. Why would I not, right? Why would I not just Leech Life here again? Super, super free. So we're looking at, I have 5 Pokemon left. He has seen 2 of my Pokemon, or 3. He's seen Swalot, he's seen Carnivine, and he has seen Illumise. Good switch there. 24%. I still have to just go for the Leech Life because it's so free. Really good switch here over to Flareon for him. I need to get out of here. I need to do something. I need to find some sort of play. The issue is my team does not stack up well against his team. And my speed tiers are really, really rough. I think I'm looking at speed tiers here. My fastest Pokemon on my team might be Illumise. Carnivine's really slow. I think it's like 133 speed. I think Flareon's like 156 speed here. Spinda has Choice Scarf, I think, so maybe a little faster. Overheat, we tanked that decently well enough with Swalot. Pretty much the only thing on my team that could tank that. Everything else is getting obliterated. I also, like, the reason I can't go Spinda here as well is because I'm worried about Superpower. There's a really, really good chance this thing has Superpower, so pretty scared of everything there. Now, unfortunately, my opponent gets some really good value, really good Steelix switches here. I can't touch the Steelix. It's frustrating because, like, it sucks that he knows that. I don't know how. He just assumed or knows the set or something, but I could not believe he didn't expect me to have EQ there or something. But I can't touch the Steelix with Swalot, which is super, super unfortunate. This Swalot's really useless against the Steelix. So I have to make another switch. I go over to the Spinda. He switches over to Unknown, which is fine for me. I'm okay with this position. I think I just go for a nice return here. Should be pretty safe. He goes into Umbreon, making a lot of switches. I feel like he takes too much damage here. Takes a little too many switches, but I still respect it. Return finishes off Umbreon. My opponent seemed to be a good player. I feel like he played pretty well. Those Steelix switches especially and everything. Steelix comes in. Now, this was strange because I thought about this for a while. I think I just ended up going for the return. I thought about it for a long time. I was like, you know what? There's a chance he just lives this return, but is it really worth risking that? I'm level 95 Spinda. I'm just going to risk it killing. I think that's important. There's a weird chance that it just lives that return at 12% versus, low attack Spinda. Steelix is extremely high defense. It may sound crazy, the resist. It may sound crazy, but there's a decent chance there, I believe, that he just lives. But thankfully, I am able to do enough damage with the level difference and everything to take him out. Flareon comes in, goes for a super. I get the chip damage off, which I'm super happy about. I just go ahead and get that damage. I'm happy to go ahead and do that. Now, this is a weird play. I'm looking to bring a Illumise in here to actually get off a Paralyze. I'm literally sacrificing my Illumise here to get off a Paralyze on the Flareon because I need something that can outspeed it. None of my Pokemon on my entire team can outspeed this Flareon or anything on his team. I'm in a really, really unfortunate position here where my speed tiers are just terrible. So I'm quite literally sacrificing my Illumise here to be able to bring in something to be able to outspeed and be able to answer something, right? So here I think I end up going over into Seviper, I assume. You can't hit it too hard. I guess I could go Swalot here. Honestly, both are fine. Swalot does get the Wish, which is nice. Yeah, I go Swalot. Go ahead and get, I'm gonna get Wish Boost here. Go ahead and go for a free Sludge Bomb here, unless there's another Steel type in the back that I haven't seen. I end up doing 40%. He's gonna have Hidden Power Psychic to do a lot of damage to me, but I'm still not worried about it. I'm gonna take this thing out. 77% is a lot more damage than I expected, I'm not gonna lie. Swalot. This Swalot build's terrible. I don't like how non-tanky it is, especially without the stockpiles and everything. So we do take it out. We do take it out though, finally. Sceptile comes in. So this is a big deal. Sceptile here is huge. This Pokemon is fast. Sceptile is fast. I'm in a weird position here. This is a really tough game. At this point, this is literally anyone's game. He could end up cleaning up and sweeping out with Sceptile, or I could end up outplaying him. He hasn't seen my Seviper yet, which is really, really important. So I go Seviper here, I think. I have to. If I go Carnivine, I think he just acrobatics me. Oh, do I go Carnivine? Wow, I go Carnivine. So what's the play here? What am I scared of, I guess, on Spirit? So I think I'm just trying to weaken him. Acrobatic doesn't quite kill, which I think I just assumed. I'm surprised I didn't go Seviper here. I guess I was scared of something. We do get a Leech Life off, which thankfully heals us a ton. I think this was the plan. I know there was some sort of plan here. I know it's, oh yeah, retrospective, but I think there was some sort of important plan here because I'm really scared of, because everything going on. There's so many, like, it's really easy. I think I know that My Carnivine, oh, that's why. So the reason I bring in my Carnivine there is because I know it's useless against the Flareon. Like, it's literally useless against Flareon. And my superior, so Viper, is Choice Specs. So we see an EQ there, which I think we saw against Swallow. That's why. So that's why. I wanted to weaken that guy as much as possible. Oh, that's why. So this is why I did this. I'm actually going to pause really quick. I did this because I made sure to lock myself in a Sludge Wave, which could hit Sceptile and everything. And I knew that the Flareon was paralyzed. That's why I brought in Carnivine there, because Carnivine, was never going to be faster than anything, or whatever. It was going to be faster than Flareon, I guess, but still gets obliterated. I guess my reasoning was I really wanted to make sure that Sceptile was weakened. I could bring in Surviper. Flareon was paralyzed. I think that was my cleanup strat. I knew that Surviper would do more damage than Carnivine, especially it was Choice Specs, which is really important. So really good play there, really important. I sacrificed my Illumise to get that paralyzed off on that Flareon, and it literally changed the game. If I had it, if that Flareon is not paralyzed there, I just lose every time. Like every time I just lose there, pretty much. It's really, really tough to win that game without Flareon being paralyzed there. But let's go ahead and jump into game 3. We have Raticate with Focus Sash. This is terrible. I mean, actually, this set is interesting. I thought at least it's not the like Revenge set or whatever. I really don't like those, or Flail. Flail ends up just doing never enough damage, unfortunately. We also have a Ditto on our team here, which is the title of this game. The title of this game was How to Use Ditto, which is interesting. I don't really remember what happened this game, but we'll see. So Ditto can be a really tough tool to utilize in randoms. It's really interesting. It's level 100 Pokemon, I believe. It has Choice Scarf, so you're locking yourself in. Honestly, one of the best uses of Ditto is to either just try to counter something that can be countered by itself, but most Pokemon probably can't be countered by themselves, in my opinion. But then we want to be able to get information. Honestly, one of my favorite things about Ditto and randoms is getting information with it. So turn 1, we go for the return just to test the damage against a fighting type Pokemon. I'm aware of that. I'm okay with that. I go ahead and I'm faster. If I was slower, I could have gone for Endeavor here into Quick Attack, but I know that I'm faster here, so it's a weird position to be in. So I go for the turn. He goes for CC. I live at 1 HP because of the thing, but now I know that because of that minus defense drop plus the life orb, I can take him out. So I do end up going ahead and killing him with Raticate, and having Raticate alive at 1 HP is super good here. Having Raticate with Endeavor Quick Attack here is, but I know he has Aqua Jet here, so he brings this in, and I think I switch out here, right? Or do I just sack it? I think I switch because I want to keep this Raticate alive. Keeping this Raticate alive is really nice here. Keeping a Pokemon alive at 1 HP that has access to Endeavor, it's pretty fast, is really good. It's essentially going to take out another Pokemon, at least hopefully, take it down on 1 HP. Even keeping a Pokemon alive at very low HP that has access to a priority move in randoms like Stab, Quick Attack from Raticate, super, super important. Do not underestimate the value of like keeping a Pokemon alive at 1 HP. If you can keep a Pokemon alive at 1 HP for little cost to your Pokemon HP or little cost like another switch out, like I switch in a Ditto here, take 28%, honestly more than I would have liked. I'm pretty sure this thing is choice banned, so I'm assuming he's either going to switch or do something of the sort. I'm going to go ahead and transform here on the potential switch, which I end up getting Patrouski. So we get information, we kind of pressure him to switch out. We see some really important information on his Patrouski. The fact that it is Super Fang, Toxic, U-Turn, and I believe something else, which is, I think, Protect. Yeah, this is really, really, you have no idea how important it is to know that this Patrouski doesn't have an electric type move. This Patrouski has no stab move. That's a really big deal. This Patrouski is pretty much a glorified wall to some extent. It's going to be acting in like a little bit of utility. That's really important to know. The fact that I don't have to fear a electric move is really, or even some sort of coverage is really, really important. So I just freely switch on over to Golem here. He might outspeed me and super fang me here, but I literally don't care. It's not a big deal. I'm able to get off a free EQ, which does a ton of damage here. Life Orb EQ from Golem doing 68% here. Absolute insane damage. It's weird having, I don't like this Golem set, the fact that it is sturdy and then Life Orb, because like that combination's really, I'd rather just have Choice Band or something. Why would you want that combination? It's really weird to be, hurting your HP but also having the sturdy ability. It just puts you in this really weird position where like your opponent can switch out into a resist, and it's just not a good time. It's not a good time. I don't like that combo. We get a random crit there. Doesn't matter. He gets a crit as well. That did some good chip on me. I get hit down to around 30% or so. Kabutops comes back into obviously Aqua Jet. So I think I just go right back to Ditto here. Or I could go Slowking, honestly. Actually, no. I can't go Slowking because I'm worried about Leech Life is why. I think I checked on my Slowking. Like, oh, I go it. I wonder if this is a misplay. We'll see. We'll see. I guess I'm thinking he's choice banned, so I'm thinking he can't leech life after. Is probably my thought process. Okay, just go ahead and Aqua Tail here. Let's see. Let's see. Because if he's choice banned, he can't leech life after, but I am scared of leech life against this thing. Patrouski comes in, we go for an Aqua Tail, get 30% chip, super solid chip, and now I know that this thing has no electric type move. Look at this, look how important that information was. I am now Slowking facing down to Patrouski. Now it does have U-turn though, so I expect a U-turn, and I switch over to Nidoqueen to potentially proc a poison point, and there we go. Look at that information. The fact that, like, it's actually crazy. I can't explain like how important getting that information was off that Patrouski. It was such a big deal. It was so important this game. It was so important this game. Worried about Aqua Jet here, but like not that worried. He leech life, which does no damage. I think he was expecting the switch over to Nidoking, but he has to understand that I'm not actually like super scared of the Aqua Jet as Nidoqueen. Pretty bulky Pokemon. I go for Earth Power and end up taking it out. Kabutops is so frail. It's pretty nuts. So we take it out, easy peasy. He makes a switch over to Kecleon here, pretty interestingly enough. Gets a color change, changes into a ground type Pokemon with my Earth Power. I'm in a nice position here, so now I can Ice Beam him. It's non-stab, but still. If you guys noticed, that was really unfortunate. That was really lucky. So my opponent's either a god or that was really unfortunate for me. What happened was I Ice Beamed him because he was a ground type and it was super effective, did a ton of damage, but my opponent just so happened to use Ice Punch. So it ended up making his Ice Punch stab, and I'm pretty sure I don't die there unless he's Ice type. So I essentially give him the stab damage boost to KO me, which is really funny. Honestly, I respect it so much. That's such a funny mechanic, like interaction with Kecleon. I respect it. Now I can bring in Eradicate here and just go for some really decent damage. I think I just clicked return here. Dude, I hate reversal. I think any of those moves that like do more damage based on your low HP, I feel like they just never work for me for whatever reason. I can safely go over to, I guess, a couple things here. Golem's a pretty good switch, honestly, since it really can only damage with Super Fang and stuff. But I just go Ditto here. He U-turns out. So now I'm going to be able to, for sure, yeah, his Tauros comes in. The Intimidate comes off, which is actually a big deal here. I think I just transform here to try to get... I'm essentially like sacrificing my Ditto here. Like, I actually don't care if my Ditto dies. I'm trying to see the moves, but I end up not being able to, I think. Yeah, I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, unfortunately, I was not able to see them without living an attack, which is also an interesting piece of information to keep in mind. So now we are in a really good position. We're 4v2. Now, you could obviously say our Golem is pretty weak, which that's a big deal. That is actually super relevant, but we're still Golem against Patrouski, which can't hurt us. I need to take out the Tauros here. As long as I can take out this Tauros, I should be totally fine. I just go ahead and go for Aqua Tail here? I assume so. I know that's... Oh, he's locked into CC, I assume, because of that. So that's it's probably Starf or Banded Tauros. Now that I know he's locked into CC, it's pretty much GG's, pretty much game over. I go for a return here just because it's free, because he probably goes into Patrouski, which he exactly does. We get a little return damage off on Patrouski. Honestly, doesn't do too much, but the poison takes it out. Perfectly calculated, definitely planned that exact interaction, but now it's pretty GG's. Looking like the game is over. I'm scared of Wild Charge on this thing here, but at the same time, I don't even like risk switching because he has Pursuit there. So good thing, no Aqua Tail misses. There we go. GG's to my opponent. A pretty fun game, pretty interesting one in my opinion. Pretty close one. Honestly, could have been anyone's game at any points, but I think I played it pretty well. I respect the Leech Life, assuming the Slowking switch there. The issue, like, I respect that. I love prediction plays. I love risky plays. The issue being that Nidoqueen just isn't threatened out by that Aqua Jet nearly as much as the Pokemon prior. So that was my reasoning. So GG's. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO content. I do PvP, guides, money making, anything PokeMMO related will be on this channel. Trying to reach 20k subs by the end of the year. So I would love if you guys would help me reach that goal. Thank you so much. There's a Discord link down below if you want to check that out. If you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, you can check out the PayPal link down below. Never needed, but it's appreciated. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the race to Sceptile, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.